Welcome back to Primetime Sports Tuesday. With the first reported case of COVID-19 in Jamaica, a decision on the staging of this year's Issa Grace Kennedy Boys and Girls Athletics Championships will be made within 24 hours. But hours before the announcement of the virus in Jamaica, TVJ Sports caught up with Issa President Keith Wellington on the possibility of the cancellation of champs because of the virus, as well as one Jamaican in Japan who has already booked his ticket for the 5-day meet.
As it relates to boys and girls champs, there is a meeting scheduled between the organizers, the Minister of Sports and the Minister of Education and myself, and the main sponsor. I think Grace Kennedy, of course, is the main sponsor, where a decision will be taken. And that decision should be taken within 24 hours.
And that was Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton at Tuesday's press conference to announce the first confirmed COVID-19 case in Jamaica. When TVJ Sports caught up with Issa President Keith Wellington a few hours earlier, he noted plans were underway for this year's staging of the Issa Boys and Girls Athletics Championships, even with the threat of the COVID-19 coronavirus. But that threat has now moved to reality with the first confirmed case in Jamaica. However, it would not have caught Issa by surprise, as Wellington had explained that they began their contingency plans for the virus from last week.
On Friday, we met with a specialist just to get a full understanding of the virus and how it is transmitted and the implications for an event like Champs. So we would have had that meeting. We are in the process of putting together a task force that will include various stakeholders, including the Ministry of Health specialists. So we are hoping that during the course of this week we can put together a plan of action in terms of the varying eventualities.
And while noting that Issa would be guided by the Ministry of Health, Wellington was not ruling out the staging of the prestigious high school meet.
Of course, if Champs is not held, it would be a significant blow for us, but that is not really important now. Right now we are more concerned about ensuring that if we do have champs, then our patrons and students will be safe, or as safe as we can possibly make them be.
Meanwhile, former Meadowbrook High track and field coach Collingswood Coley, who is now a high school PE teacher in Japan, says he plans on attending Champs and has already made flight arrangements to arrive in Jamaica in a matter of days. Japan has reported an outbreak of the virus, but with that country not on the list of countries with travel restrictions to Jamaica or the USA, Coley remains hopeful of being allowed in his country of birth. There is a 2-week quarantine period for persons arriving from countries with travel restrictions.
That would be basically the duration of my trip, so I'm hoping that I don't have to undergo any quarantine. I understand the need for precautions at this time, I honestly do, but being properly informed about the virus is the best route to curtail the rapid increase.
Japan, this year's host of the Olympic Games, presently has 485 reported cases of the virus, with 14 people dying from it. Coley explains what it's like living in Japan at present.
Trying to carry out my daily activities here in Japan has been a struggle. I've had to adjust my mode of transportation. I've had to adjust my time of commute just to avoid crowded areas and rush hour.
Issa's meeting with the Ministry of Health will be held on Wednesday morning. The Issa Grace Kennedy Boys and Girls Athletics Championships is set for March 24 to 28 at the National Stadium. In the meantime, Wednesday's official launch at the National Stadium for this year's championships has been postponed. Jermaine Brown reporting for TVJ Sports.